Shalom. Call Halayim La, Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elder apostles, the elders of Great Millstone. That's GMS. Peace and blessing to the Akim and the few Akwath across the four winds. And this is your brother Mayan from Great Millstone, Houston, coming to you with a quick hit. I saw this and it struck my attention because I have, bad allergies and sinuses, and then growing up, I used to get real bad headaches to where I wouldn't even have an appetite, but over the years, I started growing accustomed to, just being able to navigate, through this wicked society, with headaches, allergies, sniffing, sinus pressure. I've had a couple sinus surgeries. The last surgery I had was actually pretty good. It opened up my sinus passages, but being in these defiled bodies, that shit only lasts for so long. I'm still, even right now, I'm congested. Just being outside, it's actually a nice day in Babylon, but, you have, Esau Edom, which is the self-proclaimed white man. They spray chemtrails, so it's chemicals all in the air. So what they do is they spray it in the air that everybody has to breathe, which is wicked, which is, idiotic. But not only that, those chemicals get caught up in clouds, so when it rains, it falls upon the people. Salaki. The last couple of times, that it's rained, I've got caught in the rain while I was at work, because I work outside in the element. So, man, I got sick. But, being around the brethren, helps me fight through the pain, especially being around Apostle Rakah. He came into Houston, and he just kept going into being a warrior. And then he even told me, I told him, I was like, Elder, I'm not really feeling too good. I hadn't been feeling good like the last several days or so. And he was like, brother, I didn't even know that. I was just like, yeah, I just kind of know how to mask it and still kind of navigate through it, because I understand, coming to this truth that, we in these defiled bodies. But, I used to take a lot of these different medicines, these so-called doctors, which they falsify. They're not really, do any healing, but, I've actually had Sudafed and all these other medicines, but FDA advisors leading decongestant doesn't help relieve congestion. So it'd be a lot of times where I take a lot of medicine, I'll be like, man, this shit don't work. My mom, racking her brain trying to figure out, what to do, what not to do. Going to ENT, which is an ear, nose, and throat specialist, all of that is pretty much connected. Having ear infections, that shit hurts. If you never had an ear infection, man, that shit hurts like hell. Hell, I mean, toothaches hurt too, but them fucking ear infections is like you can't really hear and shit. Like, it's just a lot that goes into it. Like your sinuses, when you sleep, is draining. So, if you sleep sideways, it drains into your ear, And then sometimes when you can't blow your nose, that mucus and all that, I call it gunk, all that goes down your throat. So you got to hawk up, all these loogies and things like that. But, we just need new bodies, Lord willing, we get Yahweh Shai to return soon. And I'm going to read this caption because it wasn't just Sudafed, but there's also a lot of other little brands, that they're pushing. So in the caption, it says, if the FDA follows through on the panel's recommendations, Johnson & Johnson, Bayer, and other drug makers could be required to pull their oral medications containing, I forgot how to pronounce it. Let me listen to this again. Phenylephrine from store shelves, But, hey, this is going to bring out these precepts. First Timothy chapter 6, verse 20. O Timothy, keep that which is committed to thy trust, avoiding profane and vain babblings and oppositions of science falsely so called. So you got these so-called, pharmacists, and you got these doctors and nurses, pushing forth these drugs. But one thing I did learn in the world from my ear, nose, and throat specialist, I remember he went to California, he came back, and he prescribed me some medicine He was like, it's for asthma. And I told him, I was like, I don't have asthma type symptoms. I couldn't figure out why he was trying to prescribe me this medicine, but I found out, they get commission in certain things when they push certain medicines. I was like, I didn't know that. So when you find out a lot of the wickedness that's going on in the pharmaceutical industry, it could be harmful, because when I was taking the medicine, the spirit was on me to just say, just stop taking the medicine, just stop paying for it, just because I took it a couple times and I really started feeling like I was getting asthma-like symptoms. Like I could feel it like in my lungs and things like that. Now this was some years back. Now recently I just had I'll just call it an episode to where I was having shortness of breath and chest pains, and I couldn't figure out why. I was like, man, I'm having like asthma type symptoms, but it's the things that Esau Edom is putting in his air. He's really trying to take us out, but the Lord, gives us the strength to continue on. The water Yahweh Bashem Yahweh shot for that. But when you go into the word science, it's about being knowledgeable. So these people, like when you're in science, they call it the scientific method. And then part of the scientific method, pretty much you test something, at least 3 times, and you can see how whatever you're testing works. And then you kind of do like an average to kind of see, how that works. But also what they do with these medicines is they do test trials, and people can be compensated for trying out new medicines before they hit the market. So they try them on animals, which is wicked in itself, but ultimately they try it on, people to see how it works, to see what works and what are what the outcome would be, whether you're going to have some type of side effects. That's what I was looking for. But, it's just a wicked ass society. Job 13:4. But ye are forgers of lies. Ye are all physicians of no value. Like this, they don't have any value. They don't fucking work. So why are they still on the shelves? And they been know that these don't work, but they're generating revenue. So, the love of money is the root. Let me get that. That's actually a good precept right there. But they know that they're making money. The pharmaceutical industry is it's $1 billion. I think it's $1 trillion industry, because I know for one, I'll say the so-called black woman, the Negro woman. I'd say Negro, Latino, and Native American women. They're real big in the pharmaceuticals. They push that so heavy. They push that so heavy. Yeah, man. You go to a so-called Negro woman house, you might open up a drawer and you might see it might look like a mini CVS and Walgreens. So you got CVS in one drawer. You open up another drawer, it's Walgreens. You go in the restroom, you look underneath the cabinet or behind the mirror. It's even more of these drugs, because that's what it is a drug, because you become addicted to them. I love when the brothers be saying these oids, you be addicted to these pills, but they don't work. 1 Timothy chapter 6 verse 10, for the love of money is the root of all evil. So it's not having money, it's the love of money, because you're going to do what you need to do. Like, it's ultimately going to drive you to do wickedness, because you want to continue to get more money, which while some coveted after, they have erred from the faith and pierced themselves through with many sorrows. So, you ultimately it's going to lead you to sinning, because you're going to do some wickedness to your brethren, to your brothers and sisters. When you love money, it's going to push you to do evil, and you're doing evil for FRNNs. Like this money in this society is actually worthless. It's not backed by anything. So you're being wicked really for no reason, but ultimately it's a reason for you to get judged in the end. Okay. And then the last precept I had was Sirach, or Ecclesiasticus chapter 38 verse 4. The Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai hath created medicines out of the earth, and he that is wise will not abhor them. So the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushua, has created medicines from the earth, to heal us. There's different herbs and things that you can take. I'm going to get back on my horseradish, because I know horseradish, it clears out your sinuses. It's real good for that. Turmeric helps with inflammation, if I'm not mistaken. But I'm no doctor or physician, but it's just certain herbs and things that you can take, opposed to having medicines, and just be careful on what you take. And I'll say can sit with with a brother, so you won't overdo it, or just seeking wise counsel. That's pretty much all I'm getting to. Seek wise counsel, for taking different herbs and things like that. Watch videos of the elder apostles, the elders, brothers that get into the different herbs. But that's all that I had on this lesson. Lord willing, it was edifying. Call Halayim La, Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai by Hashem Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elder apostles, the elders of Great Millstone, that's GMS. Peace and blessing to the occupant of few Akwat across the four winds. And Lord willing, this was edifying, to the hopeful elect. Shalom and the Ball.